Hey everyone, thanks for checking out Christopher's Coaster Journeys. A quick word before this video begins. When I filmed my first few videos, I used a slightly different scoring system. So what you'll hear me say and what you see on the screen will be two different things. What you see on the screen is what will hold for my final rankings. The only changes were in two different categories, ride experience and ride operations. Long story short, I felt like I wasn't giving enough points to ride experience and I was giving too many points to ride operations, as I really sit back and think about what affects my overall enjoyment of a coaster more. So it should only be this way for the first few videos, shouldn't affect it for too much longer, but thanks for watching and here's the video. Hey everybody, it's me, Christopher, and I am here at the Circus Circus Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we're going to go inside the Adventuredome, and today we're going to do two rides at once. We are going to do El Loco, which is a brand new, you guessed it, El Loco roller coaster, along with the Canyon Blaster, which is a classic aero looper. So we're going to ride it, we're going to tell you all about it in just a few moments. Back. So we just rode El Loco, we just rode Canyon Blaster, and I gotta say I definitely like one more than the other, but let's start with Canyon Blaster first. So Canyon Blaster, that is one of the more classic aero loopers built in '93. All I can say is, as far as the ride itself goes, it's pretty standard aero looper. You have, less than 100-foot drop into two vertical loops, into two corkscrews, and then transition. Whew. Let me tell you about the transition. Just painful into that final helix. It's a pretty standard ride. That's really all I can say about it. Nothing special. It is pretty cool that it's set indoors. What was really uncomfortable was I was sitting so high in the seat and the restraints came down and was just bearing down on my shoulders. Meanwhile, I should mention I was in the front seat. My knees, I could barely get into the car, and it just was not a very comfortable experience overall. All right, so let's give some quick scores and then we'll talk about El Loco. So for Canyon Blaster, as far as the entire ride itself is concerned, again, it's nothing special. It's your standard aero looper, so I'm going to give it a 1.3 out of 4 for the overall ride experience. As far as comfortability goes, again, the whole ride wasn't uncomfortable. It definitely was not smooth. That transition into the final helix was very, very rough. So out of 2, thinking about comfortability, probably going to give it 0.7. And then as far as operations go, again, it's going to be kind of hard to rate this because it wasn't spectacular, but a lot of that is just due to the fact that, again, this isn't a theme park. It's not a constant flow of guests. I'm going to give them a 1 out of 2 for operations. And then overall scenery, theming of the ride. Again, it's indoors inside the Adventuredome. I mean, that's pretty cool, but other than that, not a whole lot to look at. I'm not going to judge them partially on the lack of a theme. So as far as like scenery theming, I'm going to give it another 0.7. So on the screen, you will see the scores for Canyon Blaster. And in a second, we'll show you where both Canyon Blaster and El Loco rate. But let's switch gears now into El Loco. So this was my very first El Loco model. So the ride itself was named after the kind of coaster model that it is. So this is my very first one, and I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised. So really quick, let me tell you about the ride, at least my favorite parts. From the second we left the station, it was nonstop action, a pretty quick ascent up the lift hill into a 90-degree vertical drop. That's the first one of those that I've ever experienced, and I thought that it was fantastic. There were 2 dive loops in this ride, including the very end where you must have been upside down for at least 10 feet, I would imagine, right back into the station. So great ride, pulled a few forces, I would say, on that first drop. The ride itself is pretty short. Total ride time, I mean, counting the lift hill, has got to be just a little over a minute. The ride itself I thought was pretty comfortable. So let's go ahead and give some quick scores, then we'll tally that up and show you where El Loco ranks along with Canyon Blaster. So El Loco, the ride itself, out of 4. Again, it surprised me. It's actually a lot better than I thought it would be. I'm gonna give it a 1.9 out of 4 for ride experience. As far as comfortability, and all of that. With the ride, I'm going to give comfortability probably a 1 out of 2. Operations, another 1 out of 2. And then theming, I'm going to give it the same score that I gave Canyon Blaster because it's pretty much the same things that you're looking at the entire time. So we're going to put those scores on the screen if they're not already there. And then we're going to show you where both of these rides rank in my overall rankings. And there you have it. That's El Loco, it's Canyon Blaster. El Loco, definitely liked it better than Canyon Blaster. Canyon Blaster is definitely a more classic aero ride, which, those are starting to disappear more and more. But I gotta give the edge to El Loco in the battle of the Circus Circus hotel and casino roller coaster. So from Las Vegas, Nevada, I'm Christopher, and thank you for joining me on another coaster journey. So long.